Hey everybody, welcome back to the garage. And I'm getting messages from Marks. He is not going to make it. Hold on. I'm telling him it's all good. Because I'm still going to talk about Global B. I'm still going to talk about why am I zoomed in so much? Whoop. There we go. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? So what you guys, who we got? We got Timothy, Jerry, Bernard, Easy Living, Brad, Mr. Dull. What up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday. Sorry I wasn't here last week. As you guys know, I was in Oklahoma. Well, Moto, long time no see, brother. Long time no see. How you doing? I can probably take these headphones off, right? You guys, I can't hear you. I kind of like them, though. Happy Easter, Bernard. I kind of feel good in the headphones. Does it bother you that I have the headphones on? Hey, Sean. I don't know if they're on or off now. I think they're off. Okay. You guys can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Why is it showing that there's no audio? There's no audio now, right? Hello, hello, hello. Yes, there is audio. I don't know what's going on. Okay, as long as you can hear me. Like, they changed something on my platform. And normally where I see my audio output, there's no line going. So, see, Jeffrey says, I actually believe I'm the first person to HP tune an 08 3.9 Chevy Uplander. Actually quite surprised. Well, sweet. Yeah, I know. So, you guys ready to talk about Global B? Listen, here, let me do this. We're going to start a poll. Start this poll. Seats will be here for the Chevelle on Saturday, so we're gutting the interior. Starting tomorrow, be doing dash, center console, seats, stereo, AC, all that jazz. Get all that knocked out, then we're doing the engine swap. It's going to be a busy weekend. Global B, that's the new stuff. That's the new stuff. 2020 plus. Probably more like 2022 plus, but CA Corvette, CTS, or CT5V, new Silverado Sierras, all that, and a bag of chips or a can of worms or whatever you want to call it, all of that jammed up. I've been tuning on Global B for what, 3 weeks now? 3 weeks now? And here's the thing. HP Tuners has said I cannot put videos out on Global B yet. I don't think that this counts. I don't think the live show I don't think counts. No, listen. 2012, 2015 Tahoe, 5th gen is what you need to know before you even attempt Global B. 5th gen is whoa. Yeah, Bernard, so it's going to be the E90 and the E99 ECUs. It's the new. The new for GM, at least. So, I can't put new videos out until the official release. Now, granted, HP Tuners has already released it where you can, as a consumer, can go out and unlock your ECU without having to go to a dealer, right? Before now, you have to go through a dealer. Technically, they have launched it saying that you can send in your ECU and get your Global B ECU unlocked. But they're not pushing it yet. There's some issues. There is some issues. I'll tell you right now, if I were in your shoes, I would not unlock a global BECU, or I would go through a dealer and have it unlocked through a dealer, because there's issues that you might run into that could kick you in the behind and would not be fun. What, Schmidt? So, I'm going to say, and I'll talk about this more as I get into the Global B series. If you're thinking about tuning a Global B platform, which I'm going to walk you through and show you how to do, just like everything else, and I happen to know that Elite Tune School is getting ready to release a Global B basic course, it is tunable. There's some extra steps. It's like Gen 5, just a little bit complicated. But don't unlock it yourself right now. That may change. And when it changes, I'll let you know. So, the officially release or launch, it's already been released. The official launch is next month. Like, we're a week, literally like a week. I think it's next week, maybe. So, I'm going to start recording content and getting ready to roll out content soon. And you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. On the Global B platform, what's so different? The big thing being that they have neural networking and the math scale is inverted, which I touched on a little bit on my review. But it's not that bad. There is some tricks. There's some tricks. And Mike, has clued me into a couple of the tricks without giving away everything, but there's some tricks. Yes, just the same, but not the same. There is the neural networking. There is the neural networking that is involved now, and the neural networking adds a new level of complexity. But yesterday, basically, I tried a new process for tuning the neural network that seems to be working. So I am 4 or 5 adjustments in on it, and it is falling in line. Okay. Justin says, if I cannot get clean airflow to an LS7 math, can I just do speed density and still leave the LS7 math for intake air temp? Justin, you can, but the problem with that is that you will have to, even with the math failed, if you don't have the DTC for the math, it's going to be working on your fueling. So you'd be better off getting or creating a breakout harness and trying to eliminate the map portion of it. That way you can ignore the DTC, turn it off and still get your air intake temps. Also, if I do speed density, do you have an intake air temps? That's a recommendation. Generic GM, man, AC Delco. What up, Into-LS? Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. Sorry to hear about work changing, but glad that you're here, brother. Yeah, there you go. Depend the map, as Into-LS said. And Jeffrey is right. Everything talks to everything. Like, you write a flash, and it throws 60 DTCs because other modules are mad. Whenever you have your MPVI3 plugged in, it throws security system alerts. So oh yeah, there's plenty of people that have a plug and play that splits the map from the IAT, and you could just use the IAT portion of it, and it plugs into the math harness. Justin, you can get them on Amazon for like $15. They're literally, look for like a GM IAT math splitter harness. So, but as I was saying, got some really cool things to show you on Global B, some really interesting things. Like, we'll touch briefly on the standard stuff, but we're going to be focusing a lot on the the neural networking stuff, because that's what you're going to really, as what we are, the shade tree mechanics / tuners that we are, that's what's going to be important, is the neural networking, which is the essential SD mode, for these. There is no VE table. It's not like the Dodges where there's a fallback VE table where you can just turn off neural networking. You can, in a roundabout way, turn off neural networking strictly for dialing in the math, but you really have to have neural networking in place because of the virtual torque stuff. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about Global B for now. As I said, Mike was supposed to be here, but he's at a kid's baseball game. I need to do that myself, Bernard. I need to, well, it's a little bit more complicated on the Global B because the math sensor is on the LIN bus. But I'm guessing maybe Dave Steck makes a breakout. Somebody makes a breakout, so you can still break it out. But it's a completely different kind of situation where the math itself has a LIN bus controller and takes the math signal and the IAT signal and creates puts it on a communication bus. Naturally Aspirated asks, does anybody know the manifold volume for an MSD intake Gen 5 LT1 6.2 part number 2700? Naturally Aspirated, have you called them and asked yet? Oh, gross. Into LS says, found my new injectors. The Bosch 1500cc was running fine in petrol, but as soon as I changed over to ethanol, if it sat for a week, then started, flooded the engine because they were sticky. They were getting the white powder build up. E38, man, that's Gen 4. You're fine. 9 Vipers? Where are you at, Schmidt? And what generations are they? And is one of them white with gold wheels? Yeah. Chevy for life. No, I didn't. I didn't send your shirt yet. I haven't mailed anything out this year because I'm terrible at mailing stuff. But I will tell you that the last email you sent me with your address remains unread in my inbox. And so the day that I get the motivation to actually go through my inbox and mail some crap out, it will go. Maybe this weekend, but probably not. Maybe, but probably not. You will get a shirt eventually. It's still sitting in the back seat of my truck. So, I mean, with the intakes, I don't know. It's touchy. Some of them have more volume. Some of them have less volume. MSD intake for Gen 5. Oh, where am I at? Let's see if we can kind of get an idea. Gen 5. Where are you running? Okay, you said the part number was 2700. So the Air Force, you should be able to get this volume. And honestly, this volume shouldn't be a ton off of the factory volume. Doop, 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 doop. Here you go. Call Gwatney Performance. Naturally aspirated. Call Gwatney. They sell it. They tune for it. They should be able to tell you what the volume is. You know who Gwatney is, right? A little bit rich, Bernard. Osvaldo says, hi, I started your tuning playlist for beginners. I'm building a Ford Focus in A. to a budget turbo. Want to learn how to tune? What do you recommend? I keep reading I need to go with SCT. No, if your platform is supported on HB tuners and you want to learn to tune, don't go through a SCT. You will be pounding your head against the wall dealing with them. And I don't even think you'll be able to get the software. You can pay other tuners to tune for you, but I highly doubt that you're going to be able to get the software. So, oh, did I miss that? Oh, Gluttony Performance is who I'm talking about. Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, give them a shout, NA. They can probably help you out. My guess is somewhere somebody has done a volume, like literally filled the thing up with water to see how much volume's in it. What year's your Ford Focus? Let's just look. We will just look at supported vehicles. Ford. Ford 14 Focus. What motors it got? I don't know anything about Ford, so. There's Fiesta Focus 2-liter. Yeah, it's supported. If you're in the 2-liter naturally aspirated Ford Focus in North America, it is supported. Yep, okay, you're good. Yep. And I've not looked at that to see what the Focus looks like. I don't know if it's like the Coyotes or not. Listen, it's not complicated. It's complicated in the fact that there's a lot of tables, but if you will pick up pretty quick how all the tables work together and how to log for them. It's just a little different. Is your Honda 450 supported? I don't know. Chevy for life? Why don't you look it up? Probably not. Smart ass. Bernard wants a decent 6L80 and they will pay to ship it to Australia. That's going to have to go freight. They're heavy. They're over the 75-pound limit on UPS. You, Bernard, you. Always, brother. Always. So the process is the same. Where it gets murky into the tuning process is all the VE tables that they use. So it's a nice spread. Just gotta watch the 13 and 14 Schmitz because those are the ones that had the engines that would die. Run a Brian Tooley cam. Hope they don't mind. I don't think they mind. Don't they get their cams from Brian Tooley? I would not be surprised if they're getting their camshafts from Brian Tooley, to be honest with you. I don't think that Gwatney has a cam grinding machine. Thanks, brother. Yep, subscribe up. It's free. It's free if you haven't subscribed. Looking to tune some TCC apply parameters on my GMC Arcadia daily driver with the 6T75. Can I follow similar info for 6L80? Yes. Yes. So, you know, any kind of 6-speed GM transmission is probably on. Oh, really? Okay. Sorry, I got distracted, Frank. It's probably on the same TCUR, very similar. Oh, excuse me. Motion. Whose motion cam works? You're thinking of somebody else, Schmidt or Jerry. Circle D solid. Yeah, T43. So it's the same. Cam motion. Cam motion. Oh, cam motion. I was like, who's motion cam works? Yes, cam motion is who I ran in the Super Auto. Yeah, as I said, I figured that they were. There's only a couple of cam companies that actually are grinding their own cams. Like I'm like, I don't even know if TSP does, to be honest with you. Does anybody know if Texas Speed does? I know they laser them, but are they just getting their cams from Brian Tooley or a Cam Motion or somebody like that and just putting their crap on them? Comp even. They might be getting their cams custom ground at Comp and then labeling them, you know. So, but like Cam Motion and Brian Tooley and stuff like that are going to have a Spentron for actually testing these things out and figuring out what's going on there. So that's what you're really looking for, because you can throw cam specs at a wall all day long, doesn't mean it's going to run at all or worth a dang. So, but yeah, so we're going to be doing some interior swap stuff. Let's do another poll. And be honest on this poll. You know, I'm actually surprised that HP Tuners does not have a mobile app besides the Race Logic one, which basically uses the interface. Okay, so here's the thing. They've got a couple mobile apps. They've got the Race one that uses the interface as a GPS and parameters and stuff like that for mapping all the race out. Yeah, who cares? The other one is the TDN, the remote tune network stuff, where if I'm a tuner and I send you a TDN, it's less than buying an interface. Then I can send you a tune and it shows up on your phone and you load it off your phone. I think that is something that they will eventually come out with, at least for logging. So here's what we got on the interior. We're getting rid of the bench seat, going over to a pair of buckets from Corbeau. Shout out to them. Always supporting the channel. Love Corbeau. Going over to the center console with the horseshoe shifter. Putting in the SS dash with the Dakota digital gauges. All that jazz. So, full, like, from the B pillar all the way forward, we're basically replacing everything. New steering column, everything. So it's going to be modernized from that point forward. I ain't doing anything with back seats because we're just going to be throwing crap in the back seats. So, and they look good. Like the interior on the car is really clean, new carpet, all that jazz. But we are going to modernize. Oh, and the air conditioning. So we will be installing. It's not a help me out, people. Help me out. What's the vintage air? Vintage air? Is it just vintage air? Yeah, we're not doing vintage air. Hey, Jerry, I'm probably going to put at least one sub in the back, to be honest with you. We're not doing vintage air. We're doing old air. Have you guys heard of old air? Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. Have a nitrous purge right up in here eventually, whenever it gets there. Yeah, I mean, I'm putting all new speakers in it and stuff like that. And I've got all the stuff. I've got a sub amplifier. So I'm going to go ahead and probably throw, I've got 12 and a 10 sitting around. I don't know if I'll go straight to the 12. Might be a little bit overkill, but I mean, it is. There it is. Ha! It is for cruising. And if you're cruising, you need some bumps. No, we're not caging this. No, this is going to be for enjoying, you know. That link's too long. Let me see if I can truncate it down. So, take this with a grain of salt. Well, Jerry, the 12 that I have is a Fosgate. What's their top of the line one? It is a very nasty 12. Dual voice coil, top of the line. Yes. Is it the Pro Series? Subs. It's the Punch P3. I've got the Punch P3. So, not the Pro, but the Punch P3. So it's still going to be getting it. I do have a crossover unit. Whether or not I'll deal with that, we'll see. I don't know. Honestly, the rest of the speakers I'm putting in the Chevelle are kickers because I'm from Oklahoma. And Stillwater Designs is in Stillwater where I went to college. So I'm not trying to disassemble the car with bass. I'm just trying to fill in the bottom ends. Oh, no, I'm running the retro sound. There's two of them. There's Retro Sound, and who's the other company that does old school style stereos? Let me see if it's Retro Sound. Oh, gross OU. No, maybe it's not. Custom Auto Sound. I bet it's a Custom Auto Sound. Yeah, it's a Custom Auto Sound. I bought their latest and greatest, the 740 with Bluetooth and all that jazz. Listen, I was an Infinity guy back in the 90s and early 2000s. I ran Infinity everywhere. Oh, OSU. Oh, good for you, fast freaking Hemi. Yep, ran the Kappa 6x9s, the Kappa 12s, the Kappa 10s. In my Chevy Beretta, I had so much green in that thing with all the Infinity Kappa speakers, it wasn't even funny. So, I liked them. I don't know what Infinity's quality is nowadays, but back then they were good quality. I think they've kind of slipped and they've become cheap. Well, I can't afford PPI and JL. My SD tune was done without boost reference. Been great for 4 years now, but now I want to do reference. What needs to be done with the tune? You're going to have to totally redo your tune, baby shark, because what happens is if you're using boost reference, it's going to increase the injector pressure, and so the delta P across the injector is going to be different. And because of that, you're going to be flowing more fuel than you were beforehand. You're going to be rich whenever you go over that, and you're going to have to dial it back some. You know, Chevy for Life, now that you bring it up, I may have put Infinities in the Super Auto because I had upgrade speakers in it. Off the stock head unit. Sounded really good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and end this. Dude, you can't be serious. I was actually surprised the whole conversion for the dash glove box and the Dakota Digital RTX gauges for the Chevelle was like $1,200, which is not cheap, but in the grand scheme of things is very reasonable. So there's a couple things I'm going to have to add to it, like the GPS speedometer, and then the module, and then the probably the CAN bus module whenever we get a standalone on the Chevelle. So that way we can bring things back like RPM and all that jazz straight into the gauge cluster from, the HP Tuner's core, if they get me one in time. Rear deck Camaro's nightmare, take it apart. With quality, hopes they last. You mean it's not like one of those things where you just climb into the trunk and attach it to the bottom? I've got the factory package tray in there and it's in good condition. It already has the speaker holes in there. I just gotta bolt those. I'm pretty sure there's no speakers. I think they took the speakers out of the rear deck, but I'm hoping that the speakers are still in the dash because I've got the stereo dash in the Chevelle that has the two speakers on the outside as opposed to the center. And so I'm hoping that the factory speakers are in there so I can reuse the brackets. Ugh, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. That's fine. You can tune with narrow bands as long as you don't go into power enrichment. In fact, you're going to see me tuning a lot. Let me turn my mic down. It's a little hot. There we go. You're going to see me tuning a lot on the Global B platform with narrow bands. A good check valve for your vacuum system, dude. I run those cheap plastic ones. Whether I should or not, I do. So let me just say, and we're getting ready to wrap it up. What up, J Finesse? I've got company, so I don't want to spend too much time going too long. Now, granted, I have got some of those little anodized aluminum ones that split in half, Jerry. But I mean, it's all they are is a diaphragm that locks up one direction. What was I getting ready to talk about? You guys remember? Let me look. Oh. Tuning with the narrow bands. I will say the Global B system, the way it handles the narrow bands is very much like the previous system, but it seems to be more responsive and more accurate. And so it makes it a lot more viable for using them for tuning as opposed to I don't like them on 4th and 5th gens. I really don't like the narrow bands. They're a little bit slow to react and they're fine for tuning idle. Listen, perfectly fine for tuning idle. But once you get off idle, I prefer to have a wideband in there. So, okay. I'm going to wrap it up. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll be getting some videos out in the next week after. Listen, you guys are about to get more videos than you've ever wanted because I'm going to be doing some videos this weekend on the interior swap stuff. And then once the big launch for Global B happens, I've got so many Global B videos just waiting to be made. Technically, I can make them already. But what I'm doing right now is going through and figuring out the best course. So I'm kind of refining the approach beforehand. That way I can just give you the meat and potatoes. So where we might have had a 20 series video, we're going to cut that down to like 8 videos that shows you this is what works. If you follow this path on the Global B platform, it will tune the car for you. And that's kind of the goal. So, and there's some really interesting stuff. And we will be doing some more test InTunes where we go play with some settings and see how it reacts. So, you know how it goes. But I think the end screen's still broken. So if you don't get any audio, nobody cares. But you guys know the drill. Hey, Andrew. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT, always be tuning. I'll see you guys next week. Thursday night live show. Maybe we can actually get Mike to show up on that one. Happy Easter, everybody.